Hello, I'm Mariana McCormick from Mass Development, and I'm happy to present the long-awaited the Family Child Care Capital Grant Pilot Program. This is a grant fund that's administered by Mass Development, but funded by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Early Education and Care. What we're going to talk about today is some of the specifics of this grant. It's a pilot program, and we're going to talk about what we're trying to achieve with this. And then kind of some of the parameters that we're going to be working in. We also want you to be successful in this. So we're going to give you some tips, some things we're looking for, some guidance on how to make your application the best. This is going to be a highly competitive grant. We've gotten a lot of feedback on it. There's a lot of people interested. So those who are attending this video will get some tips on writing the best application as possible, because as much as we want to, we won't be able to fund everybody. We'll also sort of show you some examples of really good applicant profiles. These are examples of what we'd be looking for in the future. Key dates and timeline, and then where to get some help. So first, just a little overview on this program. This is funded by the Department of Early Education. And the goal of this is to support the healthy growth and development of all children by providing high-quality programs and resources for families. This grant, what we're really looking to do is improve the care and education you offer in your home. So what does that mean? We're looking to increase your enrollment, or help you increase your enrollment, so that you can apply for an increase in your current license capacity. We also want to allow providers to serve more children and have more people in their care. And we look to do this by really improving the quality and education that could be provided within the physical space. So keep that in mind. This grant is about fixed, integrated investments in durable goods and physical spaces. So what do I mean by that? So we have two different types of grants that we're giving it. One we refer to as Tier 1, which is the purchase of durable equipment. This is equipment that would be like washers, dryers, fixed and integrated into your home to serve children. The second one is Tier 2, capital improvements. These are improvements to the space in which you care for children. So it could be fences, it could be new windows, it could be improvements to the room, or it could be an example of both, or it can be a combination of both, and we'll have some examples of that later. Now, the way this award works, you can go up to $25,000, no more than that. So if you have something that's less than that, that's fine. If you have something that's $25,000 or more, we'll only give you $25,000, but it has to be justified, and that's as high as we go on this grant round. So key things to remember. This is an extremely competitive program. The funds are limited. We're doing a pilot. And so that we kind of learn from this, and we'll have a bigger program later on if everything works well. But we're anticipating more really good applications than we can fund. And it's going to be heartbreaking and really hard for us, but there's going to be some really great qualified projects out there we're not going to be able to fund just because we only have so much money and so much space to do it in this round. So You want to really think about doing this well, doing it thoroughly, and even with that, we cannot guarantee that you'll get a grant. The second thing to remember is that this pilot program is available to anybody who qualifies, and it's free to apply. You don't need a consultant, you don't have to pay a processing fee. And you have any questions about this, I highly recommend that you call the help desk. Here's the number, and it's also at the end of the slide. The third thing to keep in mind is that this is a pilot round. We're testing things out and kind of getting up and running. And at this stage, this is only for homeowners. We're exploring opportunities in the future for renters, but right now we can only support homeowners. So people with mortgages or who own their homes outright, we'll be accepting applications for. Now, who's eligible? I mean, we touched on that this is just for homeowners, but you also have to have an active license from the EEC or be in the license renewal process. You have to be in good standing, no legal actions within the last 5 years. You have to have provided licensed childcare for at least 2 years prior to the application submission date. So we want some people who've kind of a little bit of a track record. At a minimum, 4 days a week, although we'd like to see more. And you have to own your home outright or you're paying with a mortgage. Now, with that said, what I just discussed was the basic requirements. Being that this is going to be such a competitive grant, we also have evaluation preferences. So we are more likely to fund projects for people who accept childcare vouchers, contracts, or other childcare subsidies, who serve individuals that have special needs or disabilities. The number of hours of care beyond 4 hours a week. So the more hours, the more likely that you'd qualify. Also, those who provide extra hours when it's most difficult for working families. So overnights, early mornings, evenings. And then we really want to support communities that really need this grant. So if you look at the Child Opportunity Index and plug your zip code in, if it's a low number, you're more likely to be considered, or a gateway city. So these would be places like Springfield or Holyoke or Chelsea. And then we're also looking to, if you're doing anything that prioritizes the energy efficiency, because we're working in accordance with Governor Healy's goals to a whole government approach to climate change. So if you're looking at HVAC or windows, if there's a energy efficiency involved with it, that's also going to be a preference. We're just waiting a moment for that slide to come up. So the Family Care Capital Grant Program is really, we're right now kind of finalizing some of the specifics of it. We're looking at having like 9 months to get the projects completed. This is still sort of we're making decisions on based on response. And this is really critical to remember that the funds are going to fixed and integrated into the physical environment. So when we say fixed and integrated, we don't mean furniture, we don't mean working capital such as diapers or utility bills. This is for really significant improvements to the space. And also remember, it's not going to salary, it's not going for mortgage, it's not going to utility cost, it's going to improve the space. And it's a really important part that a lot of people kind of miss out on, but that's really kind of what our focus of the grant is. Next slide, please. So what do I mean by kind of fixed and integrated? So for tier 1, which is for the purchase of durable equipment, it has to have a life of more, or useful life of more than 3 or more years. And it has to be something that's like part of the space. So when we say that, we mean things like washer and dryers, refrigerators, freezers, or if you were making, if you were creating a play space where the play equipment is fixed to what you're working on. We'll also support security cameras, but we wouldn't do something like computers or TV sets. Next slide, please. Tier 2 is for actual improvements to the space. So that would be more like you wanted to put up some fencing, or a patio is going to help improve the quality of care. Heating, air conditioning. Keep in mind that we set energy efficiency as a preference. Something that could make the space safer, like new roofs, electrical, windows. Next slide, please. Modifications to the space to allow for greater accessibility or for students of need or children of needs. So, grab bars, enhanced bathroom facilities. Keeping in mind that the goal is to enhance the quantity and quality of the space to facilitate the enrollment of additional children or enhance the experience of people in the program. And always keep that in mind when you're thinking about what you would want to use this grant for. Next slide, please. So you've heard this before. We're going to hear it again. This is a competitive grant program. Our funds are limited and there's no guarantee. We're very excited about this grant. I want to get it to everybody, but it is, we're going to have to be selective. So really clearly articulate how your project is going to fit into the program objectives. Also, it has to be realistic and feasible. Like the numbers have to match up. You have to use licensed contractors. And that kind of goes in with the capacity to execution. Like the project itself really needs to be realistic, sort of proven and thought out. So we'll be looking for scopes of work, cost estimates, budgets from third-party vendors and contractors, especially if you're working with tier 2. Tier 1 would be more cost and kind of a description of what it is and proof of that's what it is. But the tier 2 will need that little extra. And then it has to be something that can be completed in and around 9 months. There's always sort of surprises when it comes to doing a big project, like permitting. You want to think about these things and make sure that you account for them. And always, we keep diversity in mind. We serve all of Massachusetts, but we're really looking at those areas which would really benefit the most from this grant. And that's where the COI number or being in a gateway city matters. Next slide, please. So here's an example of an applicant that would be really attractive to us. Rebecca has 6 children in her care, but she really would like to have a larger facility especially the kitchen, and the ability to do laundry. This would allow her to increase the amount of children in her care from 6 to 8. She operates in Chelsea, which has a low COI and is in a gateway city, and she serves non-English speaking families. So this is going to score high because she wants to increase her capacity. It's in a neighborhood where we could make an impact. It has a low COI. And she was really able to describe why these purchases would benefit the care and education of people in her care. Next slide. So a tier 2. Maria has 8 children in her care. What's also attractive about this, she operates 5 days a week, so it's more than the 4. She accepts vouchers, so that's an important preference. And she wants to upgrade her care to accept children with special needs. So she wants a secure outside space, upgrade the bathrooms to make them more accessible, and really look to how she can better support the children that she takes care of. So being that it's increasing the quality of care, she already accepts vouchers and provides extended hours. She was really able to describe how this would be better. So she had already some great offerings from the beginning, and she wants to make her program better. And this would be really an attractive application for us. Next slide, please. Now, so this is one of the fun ones. This is a combination tier 1, durable goods, and tier 2, where you're improving the space. Mercy has 4 children in her care. She's located in Greenfield, which has a low COI. She offers extended hours, and she wants to create an art and sensory area and a 3-season porch. So this would be modifying with tier 2 requirements, new windows and better floors, but she also to add some fixed indoor play equipment. That would be tier 1. So this would be a combination of both. And you'll see in the application that we have a way to do that. So this is, again, attractive because it's in a low COI. She offers extended hours, and the improvements are fixed and integrated. Next slide, please. So completing the application, which will be on our website and we'll provide a link to. You'll see that you can apply for a tier 1, a tier 2, or a combination of both. Now, this is really key. You're going to need to upload all the files that they ask for. So we'll be looking for proof of your home ownership. We'll also want a clear description on why you're applying for this and why it would be a benefit and how your project will improve the quality of care, increase enrollment, and increase capacity. Next slide, please. So on a tier 1 project, we would like to see a clear budget. We'd also like to see either like screenshots or a quote talking about the durable goods that you're looking to buy. So we'd like to see specific examples and what their costs are going to be. And then a timeline on how to get it installed. So if you were looking to, say, get an electric oven, we would want to make sure that that timeline includes some of the permitting that's necessary, depending on your municipality. Next slide, please. Now, this is an example of both, right? You can, again, we'll still be looking for that sort of high description. The budget will need to have cost estimates from the contractor. We'll need to have a realistic timeline. All these will come into play when we're making the final decision. Next slide, please. And here are some of the key dates and information. So again, maximum grant is 25,000. We will provide 75% of that grant first, but we'll hold off on 25% of it until we know that project is completed. We're hoping to do 2 rounds. This is the first round, the pilot program. We're hoping to do a larger program sometime in the not too distant future. This is opening on June 28th, 2024, and we'll have a couple of webinars. We'll have an opportunity to ask questions, and we'll post many of those questions online. And then the most important date on this is August 16th, 2024. You will have to apply by that date. We're not accepting any exceptions. There's, if you don't get it in by 11:59 p.m., there'll be hopefully other times to apply in the future. And then sometime early in the spring, because it takes a while, we'll be sending out the notifications on who gets grants and who don't. Next slide, please. Now, there's a lot to this. We anticipate that you're going to have questions. We also have a help desk that can answer most of your questions or find where they can get those answers are, and you can call the number that's posted here. And their hours are from 8 a.m. to 4:30. And I'm really excited about this program. I know that what you do is huge to the Commonwealth. You help a lot of people, and I'm really looking forward to helping this grant program get up and going and working with you in the future. So thank you very much.